The champagne glass hit the marble counter harder than necessary. My brother Marcus stood in the center of the penthouse, gesturing wildly at the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the bay. His girlfriend Vanessa recorded everything on her phone, laughing as he spun another story about their success. I stood near the kitchen island, gripping my water bottle, trying to find the right moment to speak. When I finally asked if he could help me with Mom's medical bills, the room went silent. And Marcus laughed, not a chuckle, a full, loud laugh that echoed off the expensive walls. Vanessa joined in, her phone still pointed at me. "You're joking, right?" he said. "Look around, Naomi. We're building something here. We can't be your safety net forever." I felt my throat tight. Forever, I'd asked once. Before I could respond, Vanessa stepped closer, smirking. "Maybe if you worked harder, you wouldn't need handouts." Marcus didn't defend me. He just sipped his champagne and turned back to the view. I left without another word, but something cold and sharp settled in my chest. They had no idea what they'd just done. I grew up believing family meant sacrifice. Our father died when I was 19 and Marcus was 12. Mom worked double shifts at the diner, but it was never enough. So I stepped in. I dropped out of college, took 3 jobs, and made sure Marcus never felt the weight of loss the way I did. He stayed in school, joined the debate team, attended summer camps I paid for in installments. I convinced myself his success would be mine too, somehow. When he got into state university, I sold my car to cover his first semester. When he needed a laptop, I skipped meals for 2 months. Mom thanked me with tired eyes, and Marcus promised he'd pay me back one day. I believed him. After graduation, Marcus landed a tech job and met Vanessa, an influencer with expensive tastes and bigger ambitions. They moved fast, talking about startups and brand deals like they were building empires. I was proud of him. I thought he'd finally made it. I didn't realize he'd forgotten how he got there. The night of the penthouse party, I drove home in silence. My hands shook on the steering wheel, not from anger but from something deeper. Humiliation. I replayed Marcus's laugh, Vanessa's smirk, the way they dismissed me like I was a stranger begging for change. When I got to my small apartment, I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the wall. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. "Did Marcus help?" I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my laptop and pulled up a folder I hadn't touched in months. Inside were documents I'd kept organized out of habit: property deeds, lease agreements, investment records. My eyes landed on one file in particular. I clicked it open, and the familiar address appeared on the screen. The penthouse Marcus had been bragging in. The one with the marble counters and bay windows. The one Vanessa filmed her lifestyle content in. It was mine. I'd bought it 2 years ago as an investment property. Marcus didn't know because I'd never told him. I leaned back slowly, letting the realization settle. They wanted independence. I'd give them exactly that. I called my property manager, Helen, the next morning. She answered on the second ring, her voice warm and efficient. "Naomi, what can I do for you?" "I need to revisit the lease on the Bay penthouse," I said. "Is the tenant still on a month-to-month agreement?" Helen paused. I heard keys clicking. "Yes, they transitioned last month. Why?" "I'm considering taking the property back," I said calmly. "Can you send me the current terms?" Another pause, longer this time. "Naomi, if you're planning to terminate, I'll need official notice. Are you sure?" I stared at the document on my screen, Marcus's name listed as tenant. "I'm sure," I said. "Send the paperwork today." When the email arrived, I printed everything and read it twice. The lease was clear. 30 days notice, no exceptions. I signed the termination letter, scanned it back, and sat quietly for a moment. This wasn't revenge. It was clarity. They wanted to stand on their own. Now they'd have to. 3 days later, Helen called. "Naomi, I delivered the notice this morning. Your tenant wasn't happy." "What did he say?" I asked. She hesitated. "He claimed there was a mistake, said his sister would never do this to him." I closed my eyes. "What did you tell him?" "That the property owner's decision is final. He asked for your contact information. I didn't give it." "Good," I said. "Keep it that way." After we hung up, I imagined Marcus standing in that penthouse, notice in hand, realizing the floor beneath him wasn't his, that the empire he bragged about was built on land I owned. My phone buzzed, a message from an unknown number. "Naomi, we need to talk. This is ridiculous." I blocked it without reading further. He'd had his chance to talk when I asked for help. Now silence was the only language I had left. Mom called that evening. Her voice was careful, worried. "Marcus said you're kicking him out. Naomi, what's going on?" I set down my tea and exhaled slowly. He laughed at me, Mom. When I asked for help with your bills, he laughed. Silence stretched between us. Then she whispered, "He didn't tell me that." "Of course he didn't," I said. "Did he tell you I bought that penthouse, that I've been letting him live there below market rate because I wanted him to succeed?" Naomi. "I gave him everything," I continued, my voice steady. "And when I needed him once, he treated me like I was nothing." Mom sighed, the sound heavy with years of trying to hold us together. "What do you want me to say?" "Nothing," I replied. "I just need you to understand I'm not the one who broke this family." She didn't argue. She just said she loved me and hung up. I sat in the quiet, feeling the weight lift slightly. For the first time, I wasn't carrying everyone else's choices. Marcus showed up at my door 2 weeks later. I saw him through the peephole, packing, running his hands through his hair. He knocked 3 times, firm and desperate. "Naomi, I know you're in there. Open up." I didn't move. "Please," he said, voice cracking. "We need to fix this." Fix, as if 30 days of consequences could undo 15 years of taking me for granted. I turned away from the door and sat on my couch. He knocked again, called my name twice more, then finally left. The hallway fell silent. I picked up my phone and opened my banking app. The payment for Mom's medical bills had cleared that morning. I'd covered it myself, the way I always did. The difference this time was I didn't resent it. I'd stopped waiting for someone else to show up. If you've ever had to choose yourself over the people who forgot what you gave them, tell me in the comments where you're listening from. You're not alone. And if this story hit home, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.